Okay, I'm Shawn Tompkins. You're here with me at Xtreme Couture. I am the creator of the Team Tompkins Mixed Martial Arts System. Today, I'm going to show you how to wrap your hands for training with my American stand-up brand hand wraps. These are my favorite kind of wraps because you can see when I pull on it, there's a little bit of elasticity in the wrap. They're the exact right length that I want for a fighter to give him coverage on his knuckles, protection, as well as good strength in the back of his wrist. Now, once I get started here, I'm going to unwrap the hand wrap all the way. I'm going to take his hand in mine, and you'll notice at the end of the hand wraps, there's a little loop. We're going to take that loop, I'm going to just pull it slightly over his thumb. I don't want to pull it too tight because I'm not too concerned. All this is doing is giving me a position to start from. Now, like I said before, I've said to people before, I see a lot of people that wrap underneath the wrist. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me because your tendons run across the top of the wrist from the hand to the arm. So I'm going to start across and just reinforce those tendons. I'm going to start at the wrist, and I'm going to go about 3 wraps is my rule, around the wrist. From there, I'm going to come up to the hand. I'm going to go over the knuckles, and you'll notice my first strand across the knuckles, I'm going halfway in front and halfway behind the knuckle. Now, I'm going to cover that knuckle 3 times, give it some good coverage, and a little bit of tension here, not too much. I'm not too worried about the outside of his hands right now. From here, I'm going to come back, and it's making an X pattern now to go back to from the inside of the knuckle to the outside of the wrist. That's going to give him complete tension in his wrist, so when he's hitting the bag, he doesn't overcompensate or roll his wrist or hurt his thumb. Now we're back to the wrist. I'm going to go about 2 times around this time, and now I'm going to ask him to open his thumb. He keeps the front face of his knuckles closed. The thumb is now open. I'm going to wrap that thumb, and I want to lock it in. So I'm going to take the wrap completely over his wrist. And now you'll see, I just circled it. Now I'm going to have him close the thumb, and I'm going to lock it into this side of the wrist. That's going to help him, or assist in him so he doesn't hit his thumb, hurt it when he's hitting the bag if he's loose with it. So I'm going to lock that in, remind it all the time. Once around the wrist now, and now I'll come back up to the knuckles. And because I've got enough left, now my main concern now that I've got tension here is to protect those knuckles. I'm going to have him open his hand, and we're going to go about 3 times around the hands, just to cover those knuckles up. Give him a little bit of padding. He's probably going to have a little bigger glove on when he hits the bags and pads anyways, so we don't have to be too concerned about it. Now, when I finish that 3rd wrap, what I want to do is just reinforce what we started, getting the inside to outside with the ligaments on both sides. I'm going to ask him to close his fist every time I go back to his wrist. Now from here, I'm going to finish that X pattern, have him open, come back through, and now you can see it. That should be the finish. That's going to hold this so it doesn't slip. And now when I come back to the wrist, whatever's left, I'm going to wrap it in. But when I complete the wrap, I'm going to have the Velcro in the center of his wrist. What that does is it assists me so that if I'm taking his gloves on and off in between rounds to adjust anything, this wrap isn't going to come loose. The more he sweats, the tighter this wrap is going to become. It's going to give him more and more support, and that's what I want. Again, a big part of these wraps is the fact that they've got elasticity to them. That makes them the best wrap in the business.